gonna give it a couple minutes. Jose RPM's the I Wing Gearhead with Heavy Steel and Hot Rods. We're back at it right now. Haven't done a live all week. It's been kind of a hectic week for me. Very, very hectic. So right now I'm gonna just try and get back at it. Talk to you guys for a couple minutes. Try and delegate some time to y'all, and make sure we can, yeah, just go over a couple things that have been happening on my side of the world, and hopefully we can contact you guys as well and see what's been going down on your side of the world. So I'll give it a couple minutes real quick and see if we can get some people jumping in on this live. That way I'm just not talking to myself and just repeating myself. As I wait, I'm gonna get some food ready for the aminos. Y'all know me. I have a couple geese. I got a duck and a goose. Gotta get them all fed up right now. Get them something to eat. And I also have some goats in the front. We'll see if they want some food as well. So I guess I'll jump into the topic once I get a couple people on the live. If I get some people on the live, right? We'll say if. We don't know if people are gonna show up on the live or not. Head over there. Oh. Just be following me everywhere I go. Got the goats right there. This Madler duck, Speedy, has really been getting attached to me lately. So I'm trying to go put this away, and I guess we'll jump into exactly why I haven't really been posting much, and I guess the projects and all that stuff. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about how I ripped my ear. It was unfortunate, but it did happen. Close this door up. See if I can get y'all out right here. We got about 6 people in here, so I guess we'll go ahead and start the live and really get into Tropa de Dos. I don't know how to say your name. Tropa Dos. ¿Qué onda, Tropa Dos? ¿Cómo está? And then kind of go over what happened. So I ripped my ear. If y'all can see it. I had it like that, and I started stretching it, and I ripped it, man. I was actually trying to stretch it too fast, and I ripped it, man, unfortunately. Ugh. Goddamn thing. So basically a couple weeks ago I started re-gauging or re-stretching my gauged ears, mainly because, take these glasses off, mainly because I had done this when I was younger to myself. I started stretching them. This ear was actually ripped in a fight back in Houston, Texas, and they ripped my wife half inch on that side, and she actually ended for me. Unfortunately, I guess part of the story is once she sewed it for me, I never put anything back in it, and I actually ended up taking this one out, so it shrunk significantly. I had them at 1.5 inches. This is only an inch, so it was half an inch bigger than this on the side. And job site fight? No, it was not a job site fight. It was a fight off the job site. I was kind of reckless back in the day, but they grabbed it. First thing they did was grab it, pull it down, and I pulled up, and it ripped it, and I heard like a snap. You know, it literally sounded like that, but it sounded like it happened right in my ear. And at that point, I knew exactly what had happened. They ripped my jewelry out. I used to not wear silicone ones. I used to wear some stainless steel ones. I have some in the house right now, but I would wear the stainless steels. And inevitably, they ripped it. And my wife, yes, I'll get into that right now, Daywalker. Just bear with me. I have had plenty on the job site, actually. Unfortunately, I had plenty of fights on the job sites when I was in my younger years. Let me see, what was I saying? Oh, well, my wife ended up stitching it back together. That was maybe 8 years ago, 7 years ago, before I had children. And She stitched it back up, but only the bottom really held. She stitched it twice. The first time it didn't hold at all. Stitches came out, the thing just fell apart. The second time she did it, it actually held on the bottom, but not all the way through. So if you see like in my earlier videos when I wasn't wearing anything about a year ago, 2 years ago, it was just like stuck like that at the bottom. And this whole time, like I said, I've gotten clean the last couple months off of marijuana, THC, and things like that. And I've really been trying to and so look it out. That was the fact that goose right here, my goose and my duck, and they're making a whole bunch of noise. It's getting to be mating season. My goose and my duck, and they're making a whole bunch of noise. It's getting to be mating season for this goose, breeding season for that goose, and they're getting a little bit aggressive, a little bit noisy. Okay, so yeah, either way, it got ripped. My wife sewed it up. I tried stretching it years later, and I ended up ripping it again. So that's where it's at right now. I'm actually on the hunt. I actually found somebody, but I'm still looking for more people to see if anybody can repair it, do some surgery on it, stitch it back up. Obviously, you know what I mean, do it the right way this time, because I do want to eventually be able to stretch them. I like having the gauges in there. I found somebody in Austin, Texas. His name is Pineapple. He has a whole bunch of body modifications, and he's very well known for fixing ears just like this. So it looks crazy. Looks wild. But either way, his name is Pineapple. I've tried emailing him and tried getting a hold of him on Facebook and things of that nature, and it just hasn't really hasn't fallen through just yet, because he's very busy. He's doing classes for other piercers and things of that nature, and he has a big schedule lined up. So they told me he'll be back on the 30th of this month, so I got to try and call him then. Let me see. Daywalker, you look okay. You okay looking guy? No Diddy, but you be okay, folk. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, dog. Yeah, it's more, I guess, for myself. You know what I mean? My own to make myself confidence. I always like this type of shit. Like I said on one of my other lives, this is probably one of the first decisions I had ever made in my life about myself, was to actually do body modifications. I started doing it when I was 13 years old. So, and then every 2 weeks I was stretching. So I started from having just a little diamond in there. I used to rock diamonds back in the day when I was young. I was like into that little skating scene, looking all cool. I thought I looked cool. And I ended up every week, every 2 weeks, excuse me, I was just gauging, stretching it up. But yes, it actually got ripped in Houston. I was sitting out of a store, and somebody asked me to use my phone. I was reluctant to lend him my phone. He said he really needed to get a ride. When I handed him my phone, they basically tried to pull me out of the truck, and they were acting like they were gonna steal my phone, and they basically took my phone just to kind of get me out of the car. And once I got out of the car, they tried to steal my truck. So I obviously ran back to my door, because that's where I had my gun, and so I was wrestling between the door and the guys, and that's when he pretty much pulled me back. And yeah, we started tussling, and he pulled him, boom, and so he ripped my ear, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's how that happened. Let me see. Stop complaining. At least you got the rest of it. You can still heal. Yeah. I'm not complaining. I'm just it's the topic of the life. You know what I mean? Let me see. I try not to complain. Life, like, have you ever heard that song? Life's been good. You know, what does he say in that song? Life's been good to me so far. You heard that song? He says like I shouldn't complain, but sometimes I still do. And life's been good so far, something like that. I'm old though, probably plays in my thinking. Rough, keep it on you. I was kidding. No worries, man. I don't get my feelings hurt, man. I don't get my feelings hurt. I gotta be vocal, you know what I mean? Make the live worth it. But yeah, I ended up getting my ear ripped right there. I know you were asking. About any job site fights. So I guess we'll jump into that now. You know what I mean? I appreciate you being here, Daywalker. Appreciate you dropping in. Yes. Let me see. I guess we'll start off. We'll do the one at the hospital. It's like the hospital parking lot. So I was in 1604 off of San Antonio off of 1604, which is the outer loop, the more rural loop. It's not very rural anymore. Back when I was young, back when my dad was young, it was nothing but fields out there. Now it's all businesses, and it's all beautiful, you know what I mean? They've really built up an industry out there. But 1604 loop, the inside loop is 410, the outside loop is 1604. We were out there on 1604. I forget the exact name of the hospital we were working on. I think it might have been like Saint something. I forget right now. I've done so much work out there. But we got there. It was my first day, about to head into orientation, and I got there a little early. And I used to like to, you know, have my morning little thing in the mornings back then. And so I was sitting in my truck doing my thing, and somebody came knocking on my window like that. And I was doing my thing. I was like, what? I put my phone down on the steering wheel, looked over at it, and put my window down. I used to have a 1500 dropped, you know, slammed to the ground, big old 24s on it. Look stupid, obnoxious looking truck, honestly. And he had a Corsa exhaust. It was super loud. It was a pretty neat little truck for the age I was at. But it was, now I look at it, damn. It was obnoxious. But the guy knocked on my window, and a big old country fat boy, man, big motherfucker. And he knocks on my window and he tells me, "Hey man, you're in my spot." You know what I mean? My parking spot. And I was like, oh shit, you know, I gave him like the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? I didn't, he was aggressive, but I didn't feel no way about it. I was like, oh man, shit. I told him I apologize, and I told him I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this was a assigned parking spot. You know, it's my first day out here. I got to go get orientated here at 6 o'clock. It might have been around, I don't know, 5:30 or at that point in time, you know? And so he tells me, oh, it's not assigned parking. So I was, at that point, I'm like, well, you know what I mean? Well, why are you telling me to get out of your spot? You know what I mean? If it's not assigned. And he's like, well, I've been here for a couple months. I've been here for 2 months, 3 months, whatever he had mentioned. And he's like, and this is where I park every single day. At that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're just being petty about the parking spot, because at this point, there's the whole empty. The whole parking lot's empty. You know what I mean? The general contractor probably bought or rented out. Excuse me, not they don't buy them, but they rent out maybe, I don't know, 100, 150 parking spots. You know what I mean? And that way, we're not taking up the space for the actual hospital, but they got like the back parking lot that they've rented for us. And so I'm in there. And he tells me this, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, man, why does he want this spot? You know what I mean? And obviously it was next to like a little island where they have like the trees and stuff, you know what I mean? A little curb where they have the trees. So I guess he wanted it to have shade, and that's why I had parked there. You know, I wanted my truck to stay nice and cool throughout the day while I was going to be hanging the iron. And he got all aggressive, got more upset, and telling me, well, it doesn't matter. I've been here longer, you know what I mean? And it belongs to me. And I was very hard-headed back then. I was like, you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, man. I was like, you can have this spot tomorrow if you get here earlier than me. But me knowing I'm going to be petty as fuck, I'm going to get here like at 4 in the morning. I'm going to get here like at 3:30. I'm going to get here way early, so there's no way he can get this spot. I'm just going to be petty now because he's acting like an asshole. And he can kind of tell I was being like passive aggressive, I guess. And he got pissed off, and he kind of, boom, knocked on my door, like the where the window meets the door. You know, he kind of, boom, shoved it. You know what I mean? He hit it with his hands. And at this point, you know, I had to put my little thing down, my little joint down. And I tell him, you know what I mean? Hey, man, you don't know me. I don't know you, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? Why you got to start problems? The whole parking lot here. And he's like, I'm an electrician, man, and you need to respect me and all this type of shit. I told him, I'm a fucking iron worker, dog. Like, I ain't gonna budge for nobody. And so we started exchanging words, you know what I mean? I was actually on the phone with my wife at the time. So like I mentioned before, I put my phone on my steering wheel. So my wife's kind of hearing this, and she's like, Jose, trying to calm me down. And at this point, I tell him, man, don't touch my truck again, dog. And he hits it one more time. Boom, you know? Hits it one more time. I'm like, damn, man, this dude's pissed me off. So at this point, I grab my phone. I still got my joint in my hand. I got my lighter in my hand. And I go and I walk out, and I had one of those diamond plate toolboxes on the back. So I get out, and he when I open the door, you know, he takes a couple steps back. So now he's kind of 1 foot on top of the curb and 1 foot on the bottom, you know, on the parking lot, and kind of wedged in between my truck and the curb, you know, and he's standing there. And when I got off, man, this motherfucker was big, man. He was big, 6'2", 6'3". I'm only 5'11" on a good day. And I mean 5'7", excuse me, not 5'11", shit, I wish. I'm like 5'7" on a good day. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, man, this guy, he got me, you know what I mean? He's big, a big motherfucker. So I'm like, all right, man. And he was a stocky white boy, country boy, you know what I mean? And I'm not really I don't get too intimidated by people. I've been in a lot of fights, but that guy, I seen him, I was like, damn, my knees got a little bit shaky on me, you know what I mean? I could feel blood pumping to my hands. And I was like, man, dude, like, come on, let's not do this, you know what I mean? Now I'm still trying to hold a stern face, because, you know, I don't want to back down from nobody. And I'm an ex-hothead, and I'm going to try to talk to the guy if I don't work. If that don't work, I'm telling you. Yeah, I get that now, man. But where was I at? Oh, so I get off, you know, he take a step back. He's kind of standing like kind of crooked, you know what I mean? Boom, one foot on the curb, 1 foot on the bottom. And at this point, I'm again still trying to de-escalate it, because it's a big motherfucker. So I'm trying to tell him, man, chill the fuck out, dog. We don't gotta take it there like that. And he didn't want to hear it, you know what I mean? He shoved me one time. Boom, puts a hand on my chest, you know, and I'm like, man, at this point, I'm like, shit, I already done put my phone down. I done put my little hog leg down, you know what I mean, my little lighter down. So I'm like, man, I tell him again, man, you don't know me, I don't know you, man. I tell him, don't push me again. And he did it one more time. Boom, and when he did that, I just connected with a real short right. You know what I mean, straight to the face. And honestly, I thought that was gonna ensue a big old brawl between me and him. I kind of all see it happen in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna hit him one time, I'm gonna piss him off. He's probably gonna tackle me, and we're gonna be on the floor scuffling, you know. And I'm gonna start using elbows and everything, start dropping everything on him, like I'm biting if I have to, you know what I mean? And so I got him with the right, real quick right, hit him, you know what I mean? And when I got him with that right, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, they scared the shit out of me too, because you know I've been in plenty of fights, but I ain't never met nobody with a glass jaw before. But this boy had a glass jaw. I should have known, damn electrician. And he gets hit, he connects him right there, straight. And he stiffened up immediately, stiffened up and fell back. And he was making a horrible noise. And boom, he hits the deck. And I know it hurt him more hitting the curb with the back of his head, because he bounced off that son of a bitch. Boom, kind of bounced a little bit. And when he bounced, it scared me, because he's, like I said, he was already stiff. So when he bounced, he kind of stiffened up and was making a little noise like that, you know what I mean? And I got scared, so I start going up to him. And what's up, David? What's up, my dog? What's up, big dog? Good to see you, man. Look, I had an accident. I ripped my ear, man. Oh well, you know what I mean? But right now we're talking about a job site fight that I got into, because that's actually how I ripped my ear the first time. A fight. It was on a job site, but I had one of the people out here in the live engaging with me, and they asked me if I ever been in a job site fight. So I'm telling them about one of the specific ones. And so I connect with the right, get him. You know what I mean? Get his ass, and he falls back. You know, he hits the curb, bounces a little bit, he stiffens up. And when he stiffens up, he's still, yeah, get out of here for a little bit. When he stiffens up, what's up, Aguilar? Yeah, man, I remember you. Appreciate you stopping by again, man. How you doing? Hope you're staying blessed up, man. Staying grateful, man. And so either way, he gets hit, boom, he gets down, get his ass. And I got so scared, guys, I ain't even gonna lie, you know what I mean? I ain't even gonna hold you. You gotta try to act like I'm tough and shit. You know what I mean? When I get scared, I protect myself. And so I hit him, got his ass, and boom, he gets stiff, and I'm hitting him in the chest, man. I walk up to him, I crouch down, hey, get up, man, get up. The security guard's gonna come get us, man. Come on, get up. And he's not moving. He's stiff, you know. He's alive, obviously not dead, but he looked, he wasn't far from it. He was just so stiff. Oh, now I'm afraid, man, this guy's gonna, you know, have a concussion, or he's gonna seize up on me or something. I'm gonna get in trouble. That's really all I was thinking about. So I'm hitting him in the chest. Come on. And a homie Lance Tuttle, actually, man, a boy out from, I believe he's out of Missouri or Kansas. He's from Kansas, excuse me. He was actually my neighbor. We worked in a couple shops together, joined the Iron Workers Union together. We did a whole bunch of work together. Real good guy. Lance Tuttle, man. Hopefully you're doing good out there, Lance. You know what I mean? And I know his 2 daughters and stuff like that. My wife used to babysit him and all that type of thing. But Lance Tuttle, he grabs me, bear hugs me, boom. Blood in, blood out style. I ain't gonna let them take you. And I'm like, bro, ain't nobody gonna take me nowhere. Leave me alone. Get the fuck off me, man. You know, I'm still worried about homie right here. He's stiff right next to my truck. And he's at this point, he's kind of like wedged in between my 24-inch tire and the curb. You know what I mean? And I'm smacking him in the chest. You know, I'm patting him in the chest, trying to get his ass up. And Lance tries to get me in the car. There was another homeboy, Roach, was there. You know, he was just kind of like had parked his Infiniti in front of my truck. And he was just making sure no one was gonna come jump me, I guess, you know. But it ends up being the security guard ended up seeing me regardless, and they pulled up on us. The guy was stiff as a fucking board, and I ended up getting detained for a little while out there. Still got to do my orientation though, because you know they had cameras and all that shit. And when I told them I was just defending myself in self-defense, and you call the cops, do whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna just lay down, you know what I mean, for y'all just because he want to act like an asshole and end up reaping the repercussions of that, the consequences. So they took me into like one of those little job site trailers or whatever. It held me for a little bit, and so I guess they got the cameras or something. I don't know how they ended up figuring it out. I don't know if they talked to people out there or what, but a little while later they come and get me and just take me to orientation. And after that, it was a real awkward situation because we were working alongside with those guys. So it seemed like every day we'd see each other in the lunch tent, things like that. You know what I mean? It was just a lot of animosity. It was a couple times that they were being petty with a couple of the other iron workers, you know, pulled out some big old 10-pound hammers on them, chased them down the fucking the parking lot and things like that. You know, it was just a lot of animosity. But that was one job site fight for you that happened. So that was for Daywalker, asking if I ever been on a job site fight. Another one would be, I guess, in Houston, Texas, when I was working for a company doing repair work on metal buildings. Yes, sir, David, thank you. You be safe. I went out there. I was working over there with a company with actually one of the guys I ended up starting my first company with. And I was still like an employee then. He was the foreman then. And there was a guy in front of me, a lead man in front of me. And there was only a crew of like 3 guys that he was in charge of. So basically the 4 of us, the lead and the 3 guys, would do all the work. And then the foreman, which is the guy I ended up starting the company with later on, would just kind of, you know, come around whenever he needed to, come check on the job sites and do all that stuff because he was in charge of more than one job site. So it ends up being they had sent me, the foreman was going to be, I mean, the lead man was going to be out for a couple days, and they had sent us 3 guys, the workers, out to do some work. And I'm looking at my animals, guys. If you're wondering what I'm staring at, I got my goose right there, and I got the mallard duck right here sitting here. So I ended up, well, we ended up going to work a couple days, and I would get up on the job site, and I like to get there early. I've always been there early. It might be just something I learned from my dad, and my dad's very, very time mature and prompt on those type of things. And hey, man, quiet down for me, please. Quiet down for me. And I always get to work early. Either way, long story short, I'm getting to work all these days, maybe 3 or 4 days, and the other 2 guys ain't showing up, man. They ain't showing up for me, so I'm getting kind of frustrated, you know what I mean? Because I'm sitting there by myself, and I really couldn't work by myself because the general contractor superintendents that are on the job sites aren't allowing me to, because it's unsafe for me to be pulling sheet metal R panels by myself. And so I got kind of frustrated. I ended up calling the lead man, and he's kind of like, well, actually one of the dudes was his brother that was working with me, so he's kind of like sticking it out for his brother, you know what I mean? And which is go home, try again tomorrow. Go home, try again tomorrow. And that happened for like 3 days. So the third day I got pissed off, and I pretty much told him, look, I'm gonna end up quitting because I'm not gonna be standing around waiting for these guys to show up, and I'm getting my hours fucked over now because these guys ain't willing to do what they need to do and be responsible coming to work. So I told him, either find me a new crew, another guys to come around and help me, or else I'm just not gonna come anymore, because it doesn't matter, I'm still not getting paid regardless. So I guess that foreman had a conversation with those 2 guys, and one of the guys that's not the brother of the lead man, the other dude, which is like basically the best friend of the lead man, the next day, and he's also a little country boy, but he a little small guy, you know what I mean? Little XL bully guy, you know what I mean? Tough guy. And he comes in, and and that day the foreman showed up, the lead man showed up, and everybody else showed up. So there's 5 of us there now, and it's me, the 2 guys that I worked with, the lead man's brother, lead man's homie, the lead man, and the foreman. And these guys are all tight knit. I'm like the outcast in this crew. You know what I mean? I just got hired a couple months ago, but I've been working my butt off, really showing them that I got a place at the table. You know, so they didn't want me to leave. Obviously, I was doing a good job, but they're also still sticking together. They're broing down. So ends up being, I guess he was just trying to be, I don't know what you would call it, but he didn't want to look me in the eye and call me out on it. So he walks up to the foreman while I'm talking to the foreman. The foreman's talking to me, telling me what needs to be done and all that type of stuff, giving me a little game plan that I was going to be working on for the day. So I'm here, I'm listening to the foreman. We're standing just like this to each other, and homie walks in right here, like that. And he looks at foreman. He don't look at me. He looks at foreman, and he tells foreman, "Hey, who's talking shit? Who's talking shit about the fucking hours?" You know what I mean? When it's like, bro, you were with the other dude. You know what I mean? I'm the only one left, just by process elimination. You know, it's me saying something, you know what I mean? And I don't necessarily see it as me talking shit. I see it as me sticking up for my job. I need to make money. I ain't come here to be your homeboy. I ain't come here to stick my neck out for you. I came out here to make some money, you know what I mean, for me and my family. So regardless, he ends up getting upset, and he's talking to foreman, not talking to me. And I tell him, it's me, motherfucker. What the fuck you looking at him for? Look at me. And he starts getting a little bit aggressive, you know what I mean? But he never turns and looks at me, you know what I mean? He's just getting aggressive. He's getting all pumping his chest up and stuff like that, huffing and puffing. And I finally tell him, like, motherfucker, you don't come to work, you know what I mean? What is it? What good is it for me to be sitting here for free? You know what I mean? And what good does it do to me to be sitting at the house? I need to make some money. And that's when he got all upset, and he starts, you know, calling me all sorts of racial slurs and things of that nature. And again, puts his hands on me. But as soon as he put his hands on me, I grabbed his hand, snatched his hands, and he couldn't let him go. So we start tussling on the roof. At this point, we're on top of an R panel roof that we had just laid out. You know what I mean? We had laid out maybe that, I don't know, like 5 or 6 panels right before the foreman showed up, you know. And so we start tussling and rolling on the panels, and the foreman's screaming, "No, you stupid motherfucker! You know what I mean? You dumb, you know, whatever." He's saying it, you know what I mean? He's cussing at us because it's brand new panels, and we're getting at it, you know what I mean? He's getting on top of me, and man, he's strong little boy, man. He'll beat the crap out of me, and you know what I mean? So and then I turn him over. We start tussling, you know what I mean? Back and forth, and you know, we just got the best of each other up on that roof, you know what I mean? And every time you cock back, you hit in the R panel with your elbow, and boom, you hit him. You know, it's just it's a recipe for bad news up there on the R panel. You know what I mean? You're catching stitch screws, you're catching structural screws and the sheet metal. You know what I mean, on your elbows the whole time. So we get to tussling or whatever, and he ends up getting up and runs. Well, don't run down, but he kind of like retreats down to the bottom of the building, and I stayed up on top. And you know, he keeps on saying, "Why don't you come down here? Why don't you come down?" I tell him, "Man, why'd you leave? Come back up here. I ain't worried about you." You know what I mean? And the foreman's in between us on the ladder. No, you stay up here, you stay down there. You calm your ass down. You know what I mean? And that was another fight right there. Eventually, we just ended up, you know, well, what the fuck can we do? We got to get back to work. You know what I mean? We ended up just kind of just squashing it, leaving it alone. And we ended up tussling a couple other times after that. Me and that guy, he was driving a truck one day, and we were drinking and driving. We shouldn't have been doing that. And we're doing our thing, smoking, and he actually was like, with his little flip phone, all happy, you know what I mean? And he was singing a song, and I seen him just, at the time of his life, and I just gave him a good sucker punch. Got his ass. But he was driving at the time, so he stops the truck, jumps out. And I thought he was gonna kick me out of the truck. They telling me, like I wasn't welcome anymore. No, he pulled me out that truck and proceeded to beat the fuck out of me. And he did. He put a number on me that day. I was just laughing because I was just so. Yeah, I was far gone already. You know what I mean? I was tipsy dipsy. So yeah, he put a whooping on me that day. I was just laughing when he was beating up on me. But we had a couple little tussles, me and that guy. But it's nothing that we couldn't get over. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the first fight we had, I was because I wanted my money. The second one was because we were just bullshitting. Yeah, but I've been in a couple other ones. I was real petty back then. If you had an attitude, I was gonna have an attitude. I was gonna match it. My dad always taught me, however somebody treats you, treat them 10 times like that. So if somebody treats you good, you got to be 10 times as good to that person. You got to be really, really good to that person if they treat you good. And then vice versa. If somebody wants to treat you ugly, then you got to treat them 10 times uglier so they know not to be treating you like that. You're a force to be reckoned with. So I guess I was kind of like that. I fought another kid one day. He was talking a whole bunch of stuff. And he was gonna get off of the boom lift, and when he got off, I tried to act like I'll be respectful, man. Go ahead and get off first, bro. I got you. And he goes to get off, and I just flat tire, peek, get his foot, and he just falls off the lift, and he gets all pissed off. I start booming the lift up, just to be petty. So he's all upset, hooting and hollering, "Hey, get down here, get down here!" I said, "Why don't you come up here? Why don't you come up here? You want to fight so much, But I've gotten into my little fair share of little tussles, and then other stuff when my friends were getting into fights. I had to help them out and things like that, getting jumped. Nothing I'm proud of. Do I laugh about it? Yes, because I can't change my past. It is what it is. So I try and just laugh about it. I'm grateful that nothing serious happened to them. Nothing serious happened to me. I know that guy probably had a pretty damn bad headache from hitting that curb, but yeah, it is what it is. Shouldn't have put his hands on me. But yeah, that was just a couple of them right there for Mr. Daywalker. And yeah, let me see. I didn't really read any of these. I like the story. Laugh out loud. I'm excited. Okay, yeah. Touching you cross the line, you did the right thing. He crossed the line. And stop. Somebody say hello. Oh, okay, that was David. Okay, and then Jovalin Aguilar, right? Jovalin Aguilar. Yeah, so I do remember you, brother. Yeah, I'm getting to for a lot of these people that I don't know if you guys follow my channel, the guys that are watching, but a lot of these guys I'm getting a little bit to know them and just kind of memorizing their names. Because they do stop a lot and join us on these lives that I'm doing right now. I try to do them as consistently as possible, but obviously I got my own life, I got kids, a wife, I'm building my own home right now. We got a lot of stuff there. We just got done doing this metal building, little shop, and then yeah, of course we film, structural steel erection and certified welding, things of that nature. And then I also have a stage 2 tuned 2009 Mustang right here that I like to do a lot of stuff with. But I just haven't really had any time, no finances, to be completely honest. I have my my other truck in the shop right now. I have my 28 pump went out on that, and it ended up costing $6,200 because the high pressure fuel pump went out. Ended up throwing a whole bunch of shavings into the system. That pretty much caused a complete failure for the fuel system. So we ended up having to pull out. Well, I just did the paying for it, but they ended up pulling out the whole system. Fuel pump, fuel lines, everything that goes up in there. And right now they're in the process of rebuilding it. Hopefully by next week I'll have that truck back, and we'll be back at it. Let me see what we got here. Prankster Among Us. What's up, Prankster Among Us? How you doing, brother or sister? I don't know if you're a boy or girl. Glad that you're able to stop by and bless us with your presence here in the live. Thank you for dropping by, man. I really, really appreciate it. I started this live to talk about my ear, talk about a little bit of job site fights that I got into. And now we're just going over just the channel, what I do on this channel. You know what I mean? We do a lot of steel erection and stuff like that. As per, I guess we'll talk about, let me see, Daywalker, 84 Mustang, one of my fave, just got a bad reputation. I hardly see him at the Woodward Cruise in Detroit. Are you from Detroit? Daywalker, are you from Michigan? If you could answer me that'd be dope. That'd be cool. Michigan, yes. Hey, I used to live in Dowagiac, Michigan. My family was from over there. We used to do a lot of migrant work out there when I was younger, and then they decided to stay out there in Dowagic, and we used to end up staying out there. Stayed out there maybe a year or so, something like that, a little bit. I don't know how long it was I was out there, but my family was out there for a very, very long time. One of my cousins ended up turning a pro skateboarder out there. Another cousin was a pro boxer from Dowagic, Junior Pangelinin. So yeah, we got family in Detroit. I actually have one of my best friends, Moses, helped me run this channel and my company. He actually just moved out there to Michigan. I'm not sure where he's at, but he's doing fiber optic right now out there. Let me see what you say. Yup, Detroit City. I'm an entry-level welder. Oh man, that's awesome. So you're welding now. That's awesome, man. I actually went to a trade school for welding, a 10-month course for combination welding. Trevor J. Hola, maestro. ¿Cómo estás, Trevor? ¿Cómo estás? I'm doing stick and MIG for construction company. That's awesome, brother. Hey, stick and MIG. So hardwire is the MIG, and stick. You're never gonna go wrong with those two processes. If you want to look up somebody that does a lot of good content for welding, it's My Welding Coach. His name is Joe Brown, My Welding Coach. Hog on is his slogan. I have no relation. No, we're not sponsoring each other or anything like that. But I watch his stuff a lot, and he's very intellectual and he's very good at articulating himself, speaking about welding. I followed that guy for a very, very long time. We had actually planned on doing a couple lives together. It's just our schedules are completely different all the time, so it's really hard for us to jump in on there. So that's my guy, Arkansas. Yeah. So he's a very good welder and an entrepreneur and a content creator and things like that. And he does when I had first noticed him, when he was selling plans for skids for like welding rigs. Like I have back there, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of messy, but back there I have a Hoosier pole for my old dually, my old rig that I had. It was a regular 2001 7.3 F350, and it had the tub bed in it. I didn't never get a flatbed for it. It had the tub bed, but I still rigged it all out. Oxyacetylene. I had my what are they called? My lead reels on there for my stinger and for my ground. And then I had the Hoosier pole that would extend. It was a 6-foot pole, and then it had another I think 5.5 feet inside, so it's at 11.5 feet. And it had hooks all over and everything like that. And yeah, I have it back there, the Hoosier pole. But yeah, I actually started seeing him because he was rigging out trucks and selling plans for that stuff, and then it just it all compounded me following him and learning a lot about welding. But I went to school for combination welding, a 10-month course. I learned flux, MIG, stick, heliarc, TIG. What else did I learn? And then torch, just learning the torch and grinder and things like that. But that was probably the best decision I ever made because it got me into this type of work. And so it was nice. I do think it's never too late to heliarc. Heliarc is basically TIG welding, but you're not using argon. So for your purging gas, you're going to be using helium. So it's a process that is rarely used anymore. I guess it was like an old school process back in the day that a lot of those guys used back then. I worked at one shop when I first left school that did that, and other than that, I haven't worked anywhere else that has offered that style of welding. But so your purging gas when you're welding pipe with TIG would be helium, not argon. So basically the same way with you using MIG, you have 75-25 argon, I believe the ratios are, and you turn that on. That way it creates the shield for your actual filler wire, not to create porosity. It's the shield, the shielding gas. So this shielding gas, the purging gas, would be helium, not argon. The reason behind it, I don't really know. I wish I knew more about that. I guess I could look into it and make a video on it later. But yeah, that I learned that there as well. Basically, it's the same thing as TIG. It's just a little bit different because of the shielding gas in there. It's a little bit more delicate, rather than argon is a lot stronger of a shielding gas. So you have less potential to create porosity and things of that nature. You know what I mean? All the inconsistencies. But yes, that's what heliarc is. But I went to STVT, South Texas Vocational Trade School, Vocational College, and I went there and got my certificate for combination welding. And that's how I was able to get into the structural steel. Actually, it's an NCCER certification, which I've learned out here in the commercial side of stuff. I know in the plants, refineries, those are a lot of those are very sought after certificates. But in the commercial space, it seemed like no one ever cared that I had the NCCER. So yeah, that kind of went unnoticed or unvalidatable, but I still was able to get the whole. I was able to retain all the information or a lot of the information from welding school. One of the biggest things I like to talk about from welding school that I did learn and that I retained and helped me out in the field was lash. So lash can be across the board blanket statement for any type of welding, whether it's a TIG, MIG, flux core, or yeah, exactly. NCCR doesn't really. A lot of people. That's interesting to know that even up there up north, that they're not a sought after certificates. I know a lot of refineries do like them, but those like boiler makers, pipe fitters, and things like that. You know what I mean? I know I've worked in refineries a couple times. I got a lot of buddies that work in refineries. They're constantly getting NCCR riggers, NCCR this and that. You know what I mean? But as for commercial steel work, like I've done, fabrication work, like I've done, I've never really used it. Never been asked about it. I used to mention it all the time because I was proud of it. I was young, and everybody was just like, "That's bullshit. You don't need it." You know what I mean, what's up, Brady McDermott? Brady McDermott. Did I pronounce that correctly? I hope I did. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Places up here never asked to see my car, just test. Yeah, that's the best thing. You know what I mean? People want to see you test Daywalker. They want to see the skills that you're gonna bring to the table. All right, cool. I said that right. Thank you for stopping by, Brady. My name is Jose RPMs. I work gear here with Heavy Steel and Hot Rods. You know what I mean? I run a channel, construction channel. We do steel erection, certified welding, and things like that. And I also do cars. I like to build cars, like to race cars, do burnouts, and just have fun with vehicles. I'm obsessed with cars. You know what I mean? Actually wearing a Freddie LSX Project Torque shirt right now. One of my buddies that has a YouTube channel. If y'all don't know him, go ahead and check him out. He's a big YouTuber, way bigger than me, man. I only have like 1,100, almost 1,200 subscribers. This guy has like almost 500,000. But he has a really cool design on the back. I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me try and put this down somewhere so y'all can see the design. It's a diesel. Let me see. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. That's a diesel C10 that he built. He put a inline six. He put an inline six diesel motor into a C10. I think it's a 84 or 74. I forget the actual the year of the C10, but that's a dope ass truck, and I got his shirt and I'm rocking it right now. Nice to meet you too. I'm glad that you were able to bless us with your presence out here in the live, and thank you for engaging. It helps out the channel more than you guys understand. And thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. Let me see. Nice to meet you. My two oh yeah, my 2F AWF cert. Yeah, American Welding Society, those are gonna be top notch all the time. I got AWS and stick 3G though. Nice t-shirt. Thank you. Yeah, man, this is another one of my buddies. I got a lot of people that I do work with, and as for the cars, you know what I mean, Freddie LSX or Project Torque, you can look him up. Is a really cool channel. They're way bigger than I am. Like I said, like 500,000 subscribers. They do a bunch of cool stuff with cars and trucks. On the gas, Beto, he does a bunch of stuff. Chewy RMZ, he's from the same town I am. They do a bunch of giveaways and all that type of stuff. As for the cars, stuff like that. Me, I'm more construction orientated, and when I have time and the funds, well, then I go ahead and jump into the cars as well. But right now money's been a little bit tight, and I've had other things to prioritize other than putting money into my race car and and stuff like that. So I've actually kind of put a halt to that, but it's going to come very soon. I know it will. Let me see, where were we at? What were we talking about? I already forgot. I started jumping around. Let me see. Oh, we're talking about certifications. Yeah. No one's ever really asked about those NCCERs. I know for sure the American Welding Society, AWS, those are always going to be top-notch certifications. I actually have a certification for welding inspector. I'm trying to remember the whole name of it. I think it's a red badge welding inspector or something like that. It was for the Petroleum Institute. Basically, I was doing a lot of work for a shop that built tanks and vessels for the fracking and for all of the oil drilling and things like that. So I ended up doing a lot of QC and welding inspections. So a CWI red badge is what it's actually called. I ended up doing a lot of those for the Petroleum Institute and checking that they make sure that they were pressurized correctly, that they were welded correctly, that they were up to par and things like that. I got bored of that and I actually left. Um, but yes, I ended up getting a American Welding Society one there. Trying to read what his guy said. Cool, that's 48 hour in Detroit. Really, 40 an hour. Yeah, that's cool, man. Um, Sometimes I make 40 an hour. Sometimes I don't. Just because I own a company now, it's kind of not. It's not as consistent as I wish it would be. But regardless, I'm blessed to have this. I'm blessed to have these opportunities and run the company like I do. You know what I mean? And I'm able to run my YouTube channel behind it. I don't know if I would be as fulfilled in life if I was still doing that. I was getting very bored with myself, going to the same shop every day, seeing the same welds every day. We built the same vessels all the time, built the same tanks. It was getting very, very. Yeah, it is. It's a very good job. If you can be a certified welding inspector, man, those guys make killer money. I think I was making 33 or 34 at the time, and that was in Seguin, Texas, so right outside of San Antonio. So it wasn't far from where I grew up. It's maybe 6, 7 hours, or no, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, excuse me. I was thinking about Houston, and so it wasn't too far from me. It was nice, so I made some good money. It was just I need to change of pace. I can't be doing the same thing every day. I get bored. And it was just the politicking in the office and stuff like that. I'm really not for it. I became a superintendent as well for a steel erection company. Right before I started this company, I was the youngest superintendent in their company, Postel Group, out of Houston, Porter, Texas, just north of Houston. And I became a superintendent over there, and again, I just was not fulfilled, and ended up starting my own company. And this has been the roller coaster of a lifetime, man. It's an ups and downs and everything in between, anxiety-ridden life, but it's what I love to do. It's always problem solving. It's always different. I'll answer that in a little while. That's my mama calling me. I'm gonna have to answer that here shortly. That's my mother. But yeah, man, I've done a lot of different stuff in this industry, and now I run a channel, doing steel erection and things like that. Let me see. It's a lot of it's a lot of metal in Detroit, low key, a lot of welding, auto industry and stuff. What's up, Powerpuff? I remember you. I remember you stopping by before. I remember that name. You've been here before on these lives, haven't you? How you doing, man? Or how you doing, Powerpuff? I don't know if you're a man or a woman. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And Daywalker said it's a lot of metal in Detroit. Um, Low key, a lot of welding in the auto industry stuff. Man, I wish I could be next to an auto industry like that. Honestly, I love welding on cars. It ends up being where I'm at. There's not much of an auto industry at all, unless it's like privately owned shops that do their own things. But you got to have a pretty decent amount of capital to be working on cars like that. Um, and so yeah, it was a little bit different out here versus where you're at. But I would love to go over there. Like I said, I got my family used to stay out there in Dowagic, and I got a homie that lives out there. Um, Let me see. It says, holla at moms. I'm out. About to call some chica. All right, Day Walker. I appreciate you stopping by, brother. Thank you for engaging, man. And I appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, I haven't done a live in a little while. I want to talk about my ear. And yeah, you ended up bringing out some good stories that I never really told on live. So yeah, appreciate you stopping by, brother. Yeah, you have a blessed day, man. Stay grateful, stay safe, stay blessed, man. And don't look back at County yesterday's money. You know what it is, man. I'll be here on the next one for you. And every time I drop video, go ahead and check them out. The catalog of heavy steel and high rods, man. Appreciate you being here. I am actually 40 minutes into this live, and I'm on 2%, guys. So yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by. With that, yeah, he's right. I gotta call my mom's back. My mama, I love her dearly. She just called me right now. I don't want to have her waiting too long. So thank you for everybody that stopped by on this live. Talk about my ear real quick. Get everybody up to date. I got a little chopped up ear, little legs right there. And yeah, and then I'm gonna be hitting up Pineapple to see what we can do about getting it back on. Like I always do, I want to say thank you to everybody that dropped in the comments. Helps out these analytics and helps out grow this channel. So we got Daywalker, we got Tropa Dos Nenem official. Who else we got up here? We had David Corral. Thank you, David. Thank you for stopping by. You always do. Jovalin Aguilar. Thank you. I remember you, Jovalin. Prankster Among Us. Appreciate you stopping by, Prankster Among Us. We also got Trevor J. Trevor. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Trevor. I've never said Trevor in Spanish before. Hola, maestro. Hopefully stay blessed up, Trevor. Thank you for stopping by. We got Brady McDermott. Brady McDermott that stopped by. I actually pronounced it right. It was nice to meet you, Brady, and I appreciate you stopping by too. We got Daywalker up in the house and Powerpuff. Just want to say thank you for everybody stopping by. A little 40-minute live real quick. I got to get back inside. I got to call my moms. Got to go ahead and touch base with the wife and the babies and stuff like that. So yeah, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay grateful. Y'all stay safe. Don't look back as you can yesterday's money. Live your life with intent. Let's get closer to God, everybody. You know what I mean? I do not claim anything, you know what I mean, other than the most righteous and the most high power, Lord Almighty. So, yes, thankful to God that we're here. Thankful to God that we're alive and we're blessed to live this life and have these ups and downs. And yeah, I got to go inside and get some rest. My eyes look red. I look tired. I went to sleep like at 11 o'clock last night. I woke up at 3:30 to go hit a 5-mile run with my nephew. So I'm going to head out, guys. Y'all stay blessed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.